Today we have a 37-year-old from Cadenhead distillery. The original collection, Highland Distillery, 46%. So this is quite mysterious, you'd have to call it, because the bottle itself doesn't tell you where it's come from or what distillery. I'm 95% sure that I do know, because usually, you know, if you look hard enough, you can find a reasonable suggestion of where it might come from. And I think, I think it's generally well known in the whiskey world where this actually does come from. So I'll tell you at the end where I'm 95% sure of where it comes from. Hi guys. Not often you get something for free, completely free in the whiskey industry. My tasting chart with all the descriptors are on there. Download it for free in the link below. Sláinte. But yes, it simply says Highland Distillery. It's an independent bottling from Cadenhead, and it's part of their original collection, as I said. 37 years old, so it's not often you get to, I actually feel quite privileged to be drinking a 37-year-old whiskey, because it is expensive. I'll tell you how expensive soon. It's at 46%, which is just a nice ABV, and it is obviously incredibly old. It's secretive, 37 years in a cask. Wow, it's pretty special. So today we're going to answer three things. Is independent bottling worth exploring? Does 37 years old make it better? And can we work out who made it? So I think we can. A little bit about Cadenhead themselves. It's not just another independent bottler, to be fair. I mean, they've been around, Scotland's oldest independent distiller. They have been around an awful long time. In fact, they've been established in 1842, so it's older than most of the distilleries that do the bottling today. So sometimes they put stuff out natural strength, sometimes non-chill filtered, often with natural colouring, because that's what they like to do. And a lot less marketing, you'd have to say, except they've been doing it for 2 centuries. So why does it say no distillery? It's probably a legal decision that when they bought the casks, or originally bought the whiskey off the distillery, that the distillery didn't want their name being associated with it, just in case, because they would lose control of the marketing, they would lose control of their brand. So you can understand, it sort of makes a little bit of sense. You have seen out there, you've seen a Highland distillery, or an Islay distillery, or a secret Speyside. These are the names when we're in this situation where you don't know what distillery it is. It's like entering a cooking competition, I suppose, when you're not allowed to tell anybody that you're Gordon Ramsay. Anyway, technical. So it's a Cadenhead original collection, Highland region, 37 years old. Wow. 46%. It's a bourbon cask. It was a bourbon cask. Independent bottling and natural presentation. Now, 37 years is a seriously long maturation. And it either is going to give you too much wood, or bitterness, or it's going to be just right. So straight away, I look for off things on the nose. So let's have a look. That is absolutely beautiful. There's no off anything. I'm getting soft honey, apples, oranges, orange peel. It's like an elegance. It's a very refined. I'm starting to think this is going to be refined. Wow, certainly not overpowering in any way. It smells nearly along the Japanese sort of lines, where everything's rather elegant and refined. That's the sort of thing I'd describe it as, to be fair. All right, I'm going to taste it. 37-year-old whiskey. Here we go. Oh, it's got a lovely arrival. It's silky rich. You get that sweetness. It's like a honeyed sweetness. Toffee. There is a little bit of oak. You can definitely get that oak, but it's not in any way too much or overpowering. Got those dried fruits. Yep. There is an elegance. There is a maturity, a refining sort of quality to this whiskey. 46% seems about right for it. Maybe I'd like to try it on a cask strength. That would be pretty awesome, but I can only imagine you'd need to remortgage your house for that. The oak is present, but as I say, it hasn't overwhelmed the whiskey, which is important. So age automatically doesn't mean better. I think in this case, it's worked out extremely well. Fortunately, I think this one's got a lot of life. The finish, I think it's long. It's a warming finish with very gentle sort of spices in it. There's oak, there's orange zest, soft vanilla sort of flavors. It's a little drying towards the end of the finish. You get that dryness. I always find, the dryness in a whiskey is so dangerous. It's nearly like you have to have a whiskey and maybe something over here, water or something, because you're so tempted to just keep drinking whiskey. There's nothing wrong with that, I suppose. So does older mean better? In this case, it is a big misconception, older, better. That's always not, not necessarily the case, because too little time in a barrel, the spirit can be immature. Too much time in the barrel, it can often be over oaked and a little bitter because the wood has given too much tannins and oils, and there's a bitterness that comes into it and too much oak. But this one is fantastic. You do walk a fine line when you release a 37-year-old whiskey, and when it works, it is magical. And when it doesn't, you've paid a lot of money for oak juice. Now, would I recommend this? Well, certainly not to a new whiskey drinker. To an experienced whiskey drinker, yes, I would, but only if they've got money. Because, and that is because this is $1,000 a bottle in New Zealand dollars, about $1,000 a bottle. So it is a rarity, and it's a rarity that I can drink something like this. Thank you very, very much indeed to Single Malt Users Group, which I'm a member. We taste the whiskies and a little dribble left over. I'll give it to Trev and he can do a review. That's fantastic. And then whatever's left, I'll bottle it up and into a small bottle, and we'll drink the rest of it at a Christmas function that we would have annually. So this sort of whiskey does reward patience. There's no question about it. Refined, elegant, very, very nice. Now I'm going to give it 4 barrels, which is excellent. It's an excellent whiskey. That's my whiskey aficionado scoring. Excellent whiskey, there's no question, but it is goddamn expensive. So, which Highland distillery do I think it's from? Have you guessed? That's right, I'm pretty sure it's from Glenmorangie. And it does have that Glenmorangie tasting notes and features about it, so I would not be surprised if it's Glenmorangie. There's no doubt. If you've enjoyed the review, please subscribe. It does help the channel, and we've always got new stuff coming up. I hope you liked my last video, which was making a little cocktail. I haven't done that before, and I'll probably do another one again at some stage. Anyway, till the next time, I'd like to say sláinte.